Hey there, YouTubers. All right, so my first bench with the new i5 10400, and I'll tell you what, I'm actually pretty impressed with it overall. Now, maybe not so much the price, but the performance. It definitely is much better than the i5 9400, and in some aspects better than the i5 9600K was. So let's look at gaming score there across the top, 64%. You know, I've had a lot of computers way higher, but that's still not too bad. This is going to be a good 1080p gamer and some lower quality 1440p. Not really anything for 4K, even though on very low settings it probably would run some 4K, especially Fortnite. Now the desktop score, this is one hell of a good computer for surfing the internet, doing Microsoft, Excel, Word, PowerPoint, things like that. And then your workstation score, you could use this as a computer-aided design computer. You could do animations on it, special effects, things like that. It is got the power to do that. So we're using for motherboard the MSI MPG Z490 Gaming Edge Wi-Fi motherboard. Check out my unboxing on that. 16 gigs of RAM, which is supposed to be at 3000 megahertz. Whatever reason, it's a little shy of that. And let's go look at the individual numbers of the i5. So we are running above expectation, which is good. The first couple benchmarks I ran was right at 50. You can see base clock 2.9 and turbos up to 4 gigahertz. This, of course, is a 6-core 12-thread CPU, and those extra threads really make a difference here. This bench scored 93.1, and I'd have to go look at some stuff to really get an idea where that is, but we'll do that towards the end. So your single core score 127, not anything really massively great, but where this thing gets good is once you hit the quad core, and then this multi-core score is redonkulous. So I'm trying to think, that is possibly along the lines of an i7 8700K, somewhere in that range. Not as good as the 9th gen i7s, but definitely packs a punch, and this would be higher than any i5 that I can remember. So my RX 5500 XT, not doing so hot for some reason. Maybe it needs an updated driver, not sure. Not paired up as good as it could be. As well as my Samsung 960 EVO, which has my OS on it. It is not performing as good as it normally does, but the 970 EVO is doing well and helping out the overall score. Now the RAM, once again, a little shy of 3000 megahertz. Eventually I'll probably put the 3200 megahertz in here, and maybe we'll redo this. We'll change out a motherboard, excuse me, not the motherboard, but a graphics card. But alright, so let's see, where does this score rank? 93.1. Let's go look at some stuff that I think it will probably compare to in some aspects. Now let's go ahead and put the i5 9400 in here from before. Oops. Okay, so now here is the i5 9600K. They've got it ranked 10th. So it's not going to be competitive with the first core, and it doesn't even look like the 4-core score is competitive. No, not really. However, when you get to the 64-core score, it demolishes it. Okay, so that is pretty impressive. Now, here's the i5 9400. You can see substantially greater here, a little bit better here, and definitely destroys it for 64 core. So they have these, I think this is the number here, 93.5, and we got 93.1. So slightly less than the i5 9600 according to this, folks. Now, if we go in and look at the 10400s that have been in here, and suddenly there's a 10400F. You can see that this one is actually a little higher than mine. Of course, it all depends on what equipment you work with on these. Now, my 64 core score is superior to this one, I believe. No, actually less. So this one is doing better. But yeah, there you go. So ranks 24th according to this, and you know, I can only imagine the 10500 and the 10600. Surprisingly, they're not much better, but they should score them out higher. So there you go, folks. Here's my benchmark. Thanks for checking it out. Please like, please subscribe.